Before you buy a new construction home, here are some tips for you that a lot of buyers wish they would have known. All right.
Lot to get into.
There is. So number one is making sure that you have well representation throughout the process. So a lot of times those people who are sitting at the sales office represent the builder.
Every time.
Yep. And so you want to make sure you have a realtor that is kind of the liaison between you, the sales office, and the lender.
Correct. And, there's a lot of agents out there that do mostly resell, if not all resell. So when they step into a new build, they don't necessarily know what they could do as far as negotiation. They're not too familiar with the actual builder. So you want to make sure you pick a specific realtor that knows new builds and that could be able to go to bat to negotiate for you, walk you through the process. That's very important.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that it doesn't make a difference, but it's a huge difference. We've had so many clients who reached out to us specifically during the process where we had to really jump in and help them navigate through some of the obstacles that they have. Otherwise, the salespeople are really just looking out for the benefit of the builder. And
they work for the builder.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
They're trying to get as much money for that home as they can.
Exactly.
That's their job.
Yep.
Right.
So another thing that some people wish they would have known before buying their new construction home is some of the hidden costs. So one thing that we tell people is like you can browse the internet as much as you want, but again, we re-emphasize having a local realtor who knows the inventory and can explain to you the prices and what it comes with is really important, because a lot of the prices online are kind of like teaser rates is what I call it. So they'll, promote either phase one pricing and their base price has gone up, but like you also don't realize there's things that come with it like structural upgrades, lot premiums, design options, upgrades to certain things, right? So you want to make sure that, you understand what these hidden costs are. And again, that's where a local realtor can help out.
Right. And even other costs like Melrose is a big thing, tax rate. And then also one thing with new builds is compared to resale is they're usually going to have a dirt lot. So you're going to have to also take in consideration the backyard you're going to need to do within a year's time after you move in. And another thing that a lot of people don't realize is since 2020 and after, solar is required in the state of California. So you could be looking at purchasing a home, let's say for $600,000. And after all of the fees are included and you picked your designs, you still have to take in consideration that solar price too. Are you going to lease it? Are you going to buy it? Right? Because most of these builders, almost every single one does not include solar into their price. So that's a big one too.
Yeah, for sure. And so another thing that our clients, just in general, some of the buyers wish they would have known is that they can actually negotiate some of the terms in the purchase contract before they go into contract. So what we've been able to help our clients is, we definitely explained a difference between the new construction inventory, and not a lot of people know that this is even an option. So with new construction inventory, they have a lot. You have a dirt lot, you get to pick the floor plan, the upgrades, and so that comes with a cost, just like we were talking about with the hidden costs, right? You have to go to the design center and a lot of stuff costs money to upgrade. And so with those lots, it takes 6 to 8 months to build. They probably give you minimal seller credits for those as well because they have time to build. And then they also, the second inventory that they have is quick move-ins, which is Steven's favorite. So I'll let you talk about that.
So things have changed what we've seen in the last couple of years, things have changed in the new build world compared to resale. So when it comes to resale, there's just not that much supply out there, and there's a supply demand issue, right? And what that is, like when we see a home come onto the market that's in resale, especially if it's a good home, it goes pretty quick, even with today's interest rates. And you're still competing with other buyers, and you could compete that price as high as you want, right? There's not really a cap. You could remove contingencies, the whole nine. That's what we've seen since like 2019. Now with new builds, there's so many new builds out here. And what we saw is back in 2023, it started to slow down and they started to catch up on their inventory. So they're building so much out here. And then they started having inventory, and they labeled it like a quick move-in or a ready move-in home. And what that is, it's a home that's either complete or close to being complete. That's going to be within 30 to 45, sometimes 60 days. And what we started to see at these builders, they were offering really good incentives with that, right? So incentive would be, if you were to use their lender, let's say, we will give you a certain amount to use the lender. And what we were seeing, and we're still seeing that today, is we're able to lower the interest rates with that. So they don't typically like to lower the price, even though sometimes they will. What they would like to do is increase the incentives to help pay for closing costs and lower your interest rate. But that's where a realtor that knows this space comes into handy, because we could be on the sidelines trying to get you the best deal. Can we include this, maybe solar, maybe get you more of a rate buy down, maybe get you more of your closing costs. There's just a lot of things, a lot of ways to structure an offer.
Right.
When it comes to a home that's pushed out a little bit further, they're not really taking offers. They don't have to. They have plenty of time, right?
Yeah.
So that's the quick move-in.
One of the reasons why quick move-ins have really good incentives is because once it's been reassessed by the city and the permits are all signed, the builder, it just costs the builder so much more money. It's going to cost them money for property taxes. They have to start paying electricity on them because they have the lights and the waters turned on. So there's a lot that goes in it. So they would rather try to offload it with a better deal than having it sit there. And if they have 10, 20 of them sitting there, that adds up quite a bit. So we've been able to like really capitalize on quick move-ins.
And it's rare. You usually will only see about 5 quick move-ins. They go really quick, right? Because the incentives are so good. A lot of the people we're showing geared towards the quick move-ins because it's such a good deal, right?
Yeah. So in our local market, just to give you guys an example, and so we service Northern California. See? But like in Roseville, we have a specific builder that we work a lot with, and they will buy a certain number of loans where they're buying down the rate to 5.5%. But on top of that, we're able to negotiate a little bit more towards closing costs because they know us as realtors, we're bringing them business as well. So it really has a lot to do with like relationship as well, because, you know, people bringing in business to certain developments have a little bit more pull as well when it comes to certain things. So for example, let's say there was an incentive that was last week, but we had our buyer talking to the lender and it took them a while to like really talk and really figure out the loan. We can go back to that builder and say that the incentive ended. We can go back to the builder and say, hey, can we get an exception? Can we get them that incentive? Because they were talking to the lender, and you know the lender may have taken a longer time and that thing expired. So there's a lot of things that, you know, having a realtor that knows and has relationships with the builder can really help you guys negotiate a lot better too. Okay, so future development and schools are really, really important. And, you know, I know like some lots, you know, like we've had certain commercial space, like even in our neighborhood, we had a big lot that was designated to a middle school, but it got rezoned for residential. But knowing what the schools are extremely important, because they're like, even in our local area, we have an area in Roseville that belongs to a completely different school district. So the ratings aren't as good as the regular Roseville Unified School District. So there are some people who have gotten into new construction homes in that area where they didn't know that they didn't belong to the good schools in Roseville.
And so, I just want to add to that. Some people don't have kids, and some people don't really. It doesn't matter as much to them what school district they're in. And I always just like to say, just think about it first, right? Because if you plan on selling your home, right? Most of the people we talk to, one of their biggest things is they want to know what school district they're in. So if I don't have any kids, I'm going to stay here forever. Cool. if I plan on selling my home, it's just going to be, you're going to have more people that are going to be coming to you because they're specifically looking for a school district, right? So think about that too.
Yeah. So like what he means is like, even though you don't specifically need a house with a certain school district, you want to think about it for resale purposes. So when you sell later in the future, your value is probably going to be better than if you were in a different school.
Yeah. Not to say you can't sell your home because we're seeing it all across the board, but a lot of people are asking about certain school districts.
Yeah.
So that just you're going to get a bigger pool of people looking at your home.
Yeah. And another example too is like just knowing what's being built in the area is really important. So again, going back to our local market, there's going to be certain areas where people have PG&E, people are going to have Roosevelt Electric, which is going to be a lot cheaper for people. And so there's certain boundaries that Roosevelt Electric covers, and not all of Roosevelt is covered. So it's always good to have someone who really knows that. And then another example is just knowing what schools are coming into the area. So we were with a client yesterday in Rancho Cordova, and I just found out that within the next 5 years, they just got approved to build a middle school and high school, which is huge because they have to drive 10, 15 minutes out to go to middle school, high school in that area. So always good to have someone who knows this information because like I said, there's so many people that have moved into new construction where they don't know what's going on, what schools they are. You know, again, the salespeople only so much, and sometimes they're so busy that they forget to answer questions that may be important to you.
Or how about this? You're talking about people that got into new builds. How about the people that don't know anything about new builds and are scared to go to new builds because they don't see the potential, they don't see the growth, they don't know what is the future plan. And the more that we've gotten into this space, we are so happy we did because now we see the future in this market out in California is very bright, right? I mean, the things that how many homes they're building, but with that comes brand new roads that are coming, brand new schools, brand new shopping, just a great quality of life, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to get into something that is just starting, right? Because they still have so many years of building. It's like right now is the time. A lot of times when there's a good opportunity, whether it comes to like Apple stock or something, right? It's like we wait till it's too late. It's hard to see the future. It's easier to look back and think, oh, I wish I got in. But because we are out every single day, now I see the vision. I see the picture.
Well, I mean, a lot of the people we talk to, they'll say like, oh, I got pre-approved for, $550 or whatever, but that's like at 7% interest rate. And they don't know that they can get into a new construction home for like 5.5% or whatever it is that the builders are giving, right?
And let's just take the interest rate out of it. What you're buying and where you're putting your foot in is just the beginning of something special. It really is. And we're all going to see it as California continues to grow out. It's hard to see right now, but it's already too expensive. It's going to get more expensive, guys.
And
it really
I think
is.
like throughout the United States, like I know, Arizona has like different suburbs to like Goodyear and all that stuff. I mean, there's so many new construction throughout the area. Just in Northern California alone, we didn't realize this when we lived in the Bay Area. It's like, we didn't realize how much growth was going to be in Lathrop, Manteca, and all that stuff, but they all have new
Brentwood,
construction
Oakley,
homes.
Discovery Bay. My grandparents bought a house in Newark, and I want to say it was under $100,000 when they bought it, and we sold it. I mean, I think it's worth over $1 million now, and it's a tiny, old home. And they ended up buying in Brentwood in 2001, I believe.
And we drove out there, we're like, what the heck?
You don't see it. You're like, why would you buy out here? And they got a huge home in the middle of nowhere, right? And look at Brentwood now.
Oh, yeah.
It is fully grown. You have Discovery Bay, Oakley. They got the Highway 4 bypass, right, to help with traffic. And that was their opportunity back in 2001, right? And they capitalized on that. And I was thinking, I don't know if we're ever going to see that opportunity again, being with prices just skyrocketing in the Bay Area. And now I'm like, whoa, we are in this moment right now where we could get our foot into a new construction build where they're planning on building for years and years and years to come.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're seeing there's homes right across the street from us being built right now, and I love to see that. I love to see the growth. You know, there's pros and cons to it, but I am super happy and optimistic about California, where it's going when it comes to the new construction and the developments they have. We are so happy to be out here. Everybody's thriving when it comes to the schools. I mean, man, I can't say enough good things about what we're seeing out here.
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions about, you know, new construction homes or just to get tips on what to look out for, we also have relationships with realtors throughout the United States who specialize in new construction homes. So I'll put our Calendly link below in the comments and make sure to reach out to us.
See you on the next one, guys.
Bye.